fades, it's always true. Giving hope to the hopeless, a spark where shadows rest.
Okay, so today I want us to try to just understand few things that are going on, with the political landscape and preparations geared towards next year's general election. And of course, I know there are two factions here: the one term, the two term or the 10 terms, whichever that brigade advocates for. But now, if you ask anyone, and especially those who are drumming support for two terms, if you ask them why they are supporting that faction, the obvious answer will be, oh, the president has done this, doing this, doing that, which to me is not a reason to support someone. Now, I want you to listen to this analogy. Okay, you cannot force your child to love you or even like you simply because you provide food and shelter for him or her or for them. No, you cannot. Why? Because those are a child's basic rights, and they are also your fundamental responsibility as a parent, whether the child loves you or not. Mark those words. They are basic rights of the child or the children, and they are, or it is, your fundamental responsibility as a parent. So whether you're loved or not, you have to provide these basic needs. And so in the same way, you know, the government, and by extension the presidency, has constitutional and legal obligations to deliver, mark this, to deliver development and public services for all citizens. Whether they are loved, whether they are hated, whether they are praised or criticized or not, that is not a favor. It is the minimum expectation of leadership. Are you listening to that? And so, what happens? This is what leaders have fallen short of. So the narrative of development this, development that, development this, affordable housing, or roads, Rironi, whatever road, highway, whatever it is, I mean, that should not override the core principles of good governance. Yes, because you can do development, you can bring roads, you can build stadium behind my house, you can tarmac road up to my sitting room or up to my bedroom. But if you lack the principles of governance, respect for the rule of law, protection of human rights, equitable distribution of resources, security, accountability, a corruption free country, these are the foundations upon which meaningful development should stand. And so, if you bring development, but you lack this corruption in your government, in your backyard, the security is not there. I mean, how will a road that is tarmacked up to my doorstep help me if there is insecurity in the country or insecurity in my neighborhood? That is what we're trying to say. So a government should never coerce, intimidate, manipulate its citizen into supporting or voting for it on that or those that basis. Take, for example, the just concluded by election at Ochelle. What happened? Why is it that millions suddenly became available during an election? Why are roads, projects and handouts rushed to one constituency only when votes are at stake here? Cooking gas cylinders, I understand even the speedboats were taken there. I'm yet to understand whether Olkalau has a lake or a river, whatever it is. While under normal circumstances, many Kenyans continue to suffer. That alone raises important questions, you know. And so, what happens? For us to be honest in this discussion, what is often presented as development is frequently selective in nature. It is not always distributed fairly or based on need. How many projects, if we would now dig deep, in Kenya have been launched, relaunched, relaunched, commissioned, and without ever reaching, completion. We know a road is launched and relaunched and commissioned and commissioned. Months later on down the line, the same thing, the same story. You know, Finally, I believe every principled person should stand for something. For example, like Christians, Muslims, people profess their faith and they would not abandon their faith simply because circumstances have changed. You get that? And so our political convictions should also be rooted in principles, not convenience, because that is what is happening. Like now, the Lakesiders, people who come from the lake where I come from, they are drumming supporting the regime. And let me tell you, it is not because they stand for anything. No, it is because of convenience. For us, or many of us, Baba Raila represented a cause, not merely a person. The struggle was always and has been about human rights, equity, justice, accountability, fighting corruption, and building a better Kenya. As long as those ideals remain unmet, my position should not change simply because of political alliances for convenience. It is about standing for something. Across the world, democracies are built on ideas. They are built on principles. People identify with values and ideologies, not just personalities or infrastructure projects, relaunching and relaunching and commissioning projects. No, you don't trade your principles of good governance for temporary political excitement. Ask yourself, what do you believe in? What do you stand for? Beyond the Maram road and the tarmac roads and the affordable housing and name it, what values guide your support or opposition to any government?